Hey folks, this is Mark Smith coming at you live from the hometown, which unfortunately seems to have lost a valuable piece of its history, which you're going to film from this side of the street. Let's see. I'm kicking myself because all these times, hours worth of videos, I'd always be filming this side of the street and I would never once film that side of it.
I saw music on that far right side that has the blue awnings on it. We saw music there. Bob Martin is a famous folk singer from Lowell.
Yeah, so you and Mom went there. Yeah, this is Dad, by the way.
Historical experience, one of his last shows. He's still back, and he's back on the trail again.
You know what, though? I'm kicking myself a lot because I went by this place countless times, 2 days in a row, yet I would never film that side of the street. All right, I'm gonna cross the street. I'm kind of angry about that. Well, like, oh man. I see the sign's still intact. I hope the sign didn't sustain any damage. You know what, I think they should just build it like completely right down to the T. They should just make it completely the way it was. Sure, it'll be a new building, but they should just make it into the way it was. This is one of the highly ignored attractions of Groton that, I mean, was just there, but I would never pay attention to it. So Dad, tell me about why do I always refer to Groton as the hometown?
I guess that's where you were brought up, and that's your birthplace, and that's your return place. You return whenever you feel that you want to be close to your roots.
Exactly. So it's completely incredible how much I would overlook this place. I mean, I went by here with my mom and my sister growing up, and all we would ever pay attention to was that.
There's a sign.
Yeah.
1678.
You know what though? All these times Mom would bring my sister and I, all these times that I come here with my sister and my mom, we just completely go by this place. We wouldn't even pay attention to it. We'd be focused on the plaza across the street.
Well, this is one of the old taverns, you know.
Right. All we could ever think about was the plaza across the street. We'd just go by this.
Buildings here that were here for years.
I know. We wouldn't be thinking about that.
The old town center.
It wouldn't cross my mind. I'd be so caught up on this. So, my hometown has lost a valuable piece of history. And it was right under my nose the whole time. And the whole time, all I could think about was the plaza across the street. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. I mean, all these videos I shot in late July and a couple days ago, I just went right by this.
Building in the back, I imagine that wasn't burned.
Guess again, Dad.
Really?
Walk a little bit further.
Oh no, yeah, I know that part was, but that little comment, the thing that says comedy in the back, wasn't.
Yeah, look at the hills in the background. Yeah, look at how the roof tore off that, huh?
We can take a picture of this sign. It says circa 1670 old Groton Inn Tavern, Grill, and Restaurant.
I think they should just build it, you know, board for board. I know it'll be much newer, it won't be the original structure, but they should clone it. They should rebuild the same way it was. I care more about the appearance than I do about if it's the original building.
Yeah.
I mean, it's convincing if They just build a brand new structure, make it look the same.
Yes.
So Dad, again, why do I always call this the hometown? And what can you tell me about Mom, Erica, and I?
I hope nobody got hurt in it,
No, everybody got out. But it's just sad because it's like, what are we gonna do now, you know?
Yeah.
I care more about whether they try to clone the building and rebuild it from scratch, board for board, to make it look the way it always did. I hope they don't turn it. I hope they don't turn it into like 99 or Applebee's or something. Because, you know, if they ever have a come one for all, where anybody, no matter where they live, regardless, can attend a town meeting, I would want to attend it.
We were here seeing some old friend, Bob Martin.
Yep.
I called.
Yeah, so he was here one of his last times before he went on. He went to have an operation with his
I'm
kid.
sorry, I regret not filming this place back when it was still intact. When I was a kid growing up here, this is the only thing I was thinking about. This would be right under my nose. Never once would I even acknowledge. That just shows I represented the, think of it though. I always obsess in the 1980s. But to put things into perspective, this building was 333 years old. So, since the 1980s to now, that's a sliver of time. Such is the length of human life in comparison to buildings like these.
Look at mine. Somebody left flowers. Remember in better times at the Groton Inn. They're giving flowers to the place.
So, I call this my hometown.
Yeah.
It's Groton. But every time that I'd hang out here with my sister and Erica when we were kids, all we could think about was that plaza over there. This is under our nose the whole time, and we didn't even ever stop to acknowledge the existence of it.
Yep.
It just shows what type of Grotonian I was. One of the ignorant youth ones, you know?
You know what? I think it's just human nature, though, you know?
The other day, 2 days, I was filming all these videos of me walking up and down the street. I'd always walk on that side of the street and film that plaza over there.
Yeah.
That just shows that old habits die hard, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What are they going to do with the signs, though, if they never rebuild this?
Well, they might rebuild it to preserve the sign, you know?
Yeah, well, the article in the paper today said the historic board has called an emergency meeting, and someone came out and measured...
You don't mind me filming, do you? Okay.
Someone came out and measured the windows and the doors and everything, so that if they can replicate it, you know, build something, you know...
I want them to replicate it board for board.
Yeah, I don't know.
It'll be new, like it won't look antique.
Yeah.
But it'll look like it did in the 1600s, or it was like brand new.
I don't know what's going to be possible financially and everything else. But
I just look at how much this area must be worth. You know,
that would be an awful shame if they sell it and develop it.
Yeah,
But
well,
that's what happens nowadays.
You know, a plaza or something goes in here.
Yeah.
It's probably worth $1 million more, you know.
Exactly.
Oh, they'll just put another thing like across the street.
Like a really big, you know, whether they sell it to a grocery chain or whether they put up a bunch of condos, or that's what they do nowadays.
Yeah.
I hope it's not what happens here, but...
Well, I was thinking, we moved into Groton in 1977, was it? And we lived there for about 12 years, 12, 13 years. And it was all, none of this development along Route 119 was there, you know, until it was all farmish area. And
The Four Corners.
That's what I liked about it, because once you get above Littleton, it termed all, you know, farm type area. And,
Back then.
Back then. And they've developed it some now. It's still nice. I mean, there's still some nice areas that are left open, you know. It's kind of like...
We drive around, my dad, even in Lowell, which is now all developed.
Yeah.
He'll drive around and say, oh, I remember when that used to be a field. I remember when that used to be the poorhouse and they had a farm out behind it. You know. And now I'm finding, I drive my little grandnephews around and things that were, you know, undeveloped when I was a kid, I'm saying to my little grandnephews, I remember when.
Yeah, I'd bring my father on. He passed away a while ago. He was 94. He was 1 month short of 94. And he grew up in Lynn, and so I bring him down to Lynn along the spit that runs to Nahat. And he'd be remembering, so I'd be seeing it through his eyes, you know, what it was like.
Well, just earlier in the summer, I drove my dad up to Ashby. We had a picnic up at the state park. And the whole way up, he's like, I wouldn't, and he used to drive all the time because he was in construction. He'd say, I wouldn't know where I was. You know, this doesn't look anything like it used to look. If it weren't for the street signs, I wouldn't know this was, you know, Littleton, Pepperell, Townsend, all the places they used to go through.
I grew up in Lynn, and we'd go to Randolph, Vermont. And when we drove up there, they didn't have the big I-90 or whatever it was that went up there. It was just all the back roads to Groton and whatnot, and all the roads were just...
Video intermission in 5 seconds.
And then a while ago,